Do you think that a quarterback who retired with the third most passing yards, fifth most passing touchdowns, and the seventh highest career completion percentage should be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Well, the 49ers' John Brodie has been retired since the end of the 1973 season, and he's still waiting. This video features Brodie's outstanding career. Let me know in the comments if you think he's deserving of Hall of Fame consideration. Brodie played prominent roles in the launching of two offensive innovations. First, on November 27, 1960, 49ers head coach Red Hickey introduced the shotgun formation against the back-to-back NFL title champion Baltimore Colts. The quarterback lined up 5 yards behind the center and took the Colts by surprise. The 49ers upset the 16-point favored Colts by a score of 30-22. To prove that the victory was no fluke, the 49ers beat the Colts again 3 weeks later, 34-10. Brodie was the third overall pick in the 1957 draft out of Stanford, and it was becoming clear that the shotgun formation favored the abilities of Brodie over the other quarterbacks. 34-year-old Y.A. Tittle saw the writing on the wall. Brodie was the new sheriff in town, and despite playing 10 years for San Francisco and having a record as a starting quarterback of 45 wins, 31 losses, and 2 ties, Tittle was traded to the New York Giants in August 1961 after completing 55.9% of his 49er career passes. This was a very high percentage, given the fact that the NFL average in 1951 was only 46.6% and 50.2% in 1960. The 49ers added another gimmick to their offense for the 1961 season. In the third game against the Lions, head coach Red Hickey shuttled 3 quarterbacks on nearly every play. Former UCLA All-American tailback Billy Kilmer was installed during rushing downs, Brodie on passing downs, and Bobby Waters during downs that could be deemed either run or pass. The 49ers scheme worked amazingly well as they steamrolled the Lions 49-0. 5 weeks into the season, the 49ers averaged 33.4 points per game and led the league in rushing, passing, and total offense. The fun stopped there in Week 5 when the Bears middle linebacker Bill George lined up directly over the center and charged mercilessly on every play. The 49ers fumbled 7 times and lost 31-0. The Bears cued the league on how to muffle the shotgun offense. The Steelers beat the 49ers the following week, the Lions tied them the week after that, and the Rams upset them the week after that. The predictability of the offense was too closely related to the talents of whomever was quarterbacking, and Hickey scrapped the shotgun offense. The shotgun offense wasn't utilized in the NFL again until 1975, when the Cowboys reintroduced it to much success. Although he didn't relish running, Brodie was very capable in that capacity, as he averaged an even 5 yards per carry with 1,167 yards and 22 touchdowns. Brodie was an excellent ball handler and was especially adept at play-action passes. This was one of the reasons for his high career pass completion percentage of 55%, which was the 7th highest percentage at the time of his retirement. Another reason was his affinity for the short passing game. In 1963, John only started 3 games due to sustaining a broken left arm as a result of a car accident. Elbow and shoulder pain sidelined him on occasion, as he missed 12 starts from 1964 through the 1971 season. Before the start of the 1965 season, Brodie threatened to jump to the AFL's Houston Oilers unless the 49ers met his contract demands. They did, reportedly to the tune of $827,000, an enormous sum at the time. Statistically, 1965 ended up being the best year of his 17-year career, all with the 49ers. As stated earlier, Brodie liked the short passing game. Wide receivers and tight ends obviously played a big role in that passing scheme, but the 49ers also had running backs who excelled at pass catching, and they knew what to do with it after the catch. John David Crow caught 31 passes in 1967 when the 49ers running backs averaged a highly respectable 10.7 yards per reception on 92 catches. The 1967 49ers finished with a 7-win, 7-loss record, and their head coach was Jack Christensen. This was his last year as an NFL head coach, and 1967 was the Vikings' Bud Grant's first. Christensen's 5-year head coaching record was 26 wins, 38 losses, and 3 ties. As a player, he was a 6-time first-team All-Pro safety, and he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1970. During his 8-year career with Detroit, the Lions won 3 NFL championships. It's been 67 long years since the Lions hosted the Cleveland Browns at Briggs Stadium and won convincingly, 59-14. Brodie was also an accurate deep passer. Brodie battled the injury bug in 1967, started only 10 games, and did not have a good season, as he threw 16 interceptions against only 11 touchdowns. His completion percentage was less than 50%, and that would be the last time that happened to him. In 1968, the new Niners head coach was former Giants defensive back Dick Nolan. He was very young at age 36. Brodie was healthy for the entire 1968 season, started every game, and led the NFL in pass attempts, pass completions, and passing yardage with 3,020. He doubled his passing touchdown total from 11 to 22. When healthy, there were few quarterbacks that were any better. The 1970 season was a special one for the 49ers and John Brodie. The 49ers finished in first place in the NFC Western Division with 10 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie. One of the biggest reasons for the team's success was the stellar play of Brodie, which resulted in him being named the league's most valuable player. On December 27th against the Vikings in Minnesota, the 49ers were 7-point underdogs in the divisional playoff game. The temperature was 10 degrees with a 13-mile-per-hour wind. Brodie completed 16 of 32 passes for 201 yards and 1 touchdown pass, 1 touchdown run, no interceptions, and only 1 sack versus the vaunted Purple People Eaters pass rush. The NFC Championship game was played at Kezar Stadium in San Francisco on January 3rd, 1971. The 49ers were 4-point favorites against the Dallas Cowboys. The temperature was 46 degrees and a 22-mile-per-hour wind made passing challenging. While Brodie racked up 262 passing yards on 19 of 40 passes, his 2 interceptions were costly, as were his inability to connect with wide-open receivers. Brodie threw a lot of interceptions, of which some are attributable to his propensity to try and make a play, rather than take a sack. In 1971, he led the NFL for the 5th time in the lowest sack percentage, 2.8%. In 1973, he'd lead the league again with a 2.0%. In 1971, the 49ers again won their division, this time with a 9-5 record. Their opponent in the divisional round of the playoffs was the Washington Redskins, and the game was played at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The 49ers were 5.5-point favorites in 44-degree temperature with a 14-mile-per-hour wind. Brodie played inspired football. He completed 10 of 19 passes for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns, while avoiding any interceptions in a 24-20 victory. The conference championship was played in Dallas on January 2nd, 1972, and this time it was the Cowboys who were favored to win. There was a 5-point spread. Brodie and San Francisco's offense was stifled by Dallas's doomsday defense, and they lost 14-3. In 1972, the 49ers again won their division, again played Dallas in the playoffs, and again lost to them, even though they had a 28-13 lead with 9 minutes remaining and a 28-16 lead with only 1 minute 30 seconds remaining. Brodie was age 38 in 1973, and he retired after the season. His 224 career interceptions were the second most all-time. Number 1 was the great John Unitas with 253. ProFootballReference.com ranks Brodie as the 37th best quarterback of all time. Hall of Famer Troy Aikman is ranked number 38. Do you think Brodie belongs in the Hall of Fame? He was the 1970 NFL MVP, 1965 Comeback Player of the Year, 3 times NFL passing yards leader, 2 times NFL passing touchdowns leader, 2 times NFL completion percentage leader, and 6 times NFL sack percentage leader. At his retirement, he had the 3rd most passing yards, 5th most passing touchdowns, and the 7th highest completion percentage. Could it be that the Hall of Fame voters are holding his postseason woes against him?